Home Show. Donna from Odessa, Florida has tree trouble.
Yeah, not just any tree. It's this neighbor's 15-year-old oak tree right there next to her garage. It looks like it's hers, but it's really her neighbor's. So Donna writes, this tree is on their side of the yard, 10 feet from my garage and 13 by 9 foot driveway. The same side that's now lifting 2 inches. I want to remove the concrete and roots and have a new driveway poured. I'm worried, though, that this might kill or weaken the tree, and being in Tampa area and don't want to weaken a tree going into hurricane season. And also, this is a rental. I don't want tenants tripping. How can I be sure this won't kill the tree and the roots will not eventually return?
Kill the tree if you don't want returning roots. But if you look at, let's step back a minute.
Yeah.
As far as that tree, that's tiny. If you go another 15 years, that tree is going to be all over that garage house, a part of the house of that garage. It's going to be a mess. This is the time to take that tree down. If you could convince your neighbor, even buy them another oak tree to plant about another 10 to 15 feet away from that part of the property, that would be a real good solution. That tree is going to haunt you forever. If you want to do something about it now, you can cut the anchor roots down now. That tree is not that old, but when it gets older, those anchor roots are going to come back with a vengeance, because that tree is going to get to where you won't be able to put your arms around it if you wait long enough. So it is time for it to come down. But let's talk about roots a minute and stay away from that thought. And that is, you have anchor roots at the top. That's what's busting up your concrete. Then you have feeder roots, which are about 30 inches below the ground. And they're very tiny hairline roots that suck moisture out of the ground, which in Florida is fine. You got more moisture than anybody. So that's great for the tree, and it's not going to harm the tree. That's what kills the tree, is when you take the feeder roots and you hurt them with poisons and things like that. And you're not going to do that. So if you don't want to go and cut it down and deal with your neighbor on this would be my suggestion to you. Take that concrete out. Don't try to raise it or level it. Take that section out. Just jackhammer it out. Take and cut those anchor roots off. It will not kill the tree. It will make it a little unstable, but as young as that tree is, it's going to be able to make more and still stay up. But later on, it's going to want to grow back towards that concrete. And so when you re-pour the concrete, I want you to dig a beam about 10 to 12 inches deep on that one side. And that way the anchor roots can't get underneath it. It'll hit it and it'll curl around and around, but it won't lift that concrete up. So your concrete will not be a trip hazard. You will battle it. You're going to have to put a little bit more in and dig a beam down that side in the ground. You won't see it, but it will keep it from being raised up. But eventually that tree is going to get so big, it might just fall one day on top of your garage, or it's going to fall the other route. But those are your two options right there.
If she cut the roots closer to her, go the other way, wouldn't it?
In theory.
In theory. We're going to hold on to that.
Depends which way the wind's blowing and how, the ground can get really wet and the whole tree could fall down even if you don't cut the roots.
Exactly right.
And they're hindered anyway because of the concrete and the foundation. So
there's another piece to this.
It's just a bad place for the tree. Okay, go ahead.
And I was going to say, the other piece to this is that neighbor may not care about that tree. Or that neighbor may be happy to consider another tree. And so, maybe there's another tree that would be more friendly to have on the property, other than that one, which we know by experience is going to become a big bruiser as it gets older.
Yeah, and I'm not a tree expert like Danny, one of our garden guys, but I can tell you in Florida, I lived there for years, pines, which a lot of people use as dividers there, and they're different than pines you would see in Texas or other parts of the country, and or palm trees, which will grow really great. They don't have a root issue when it comes to sidewalks and things like that. A pine has a tap root that goes down straight, and that's what holds it in place. The taller it gets, the farther down it goes. And palm trees are, of course, a little bit different. They're all over Florida, and they look fantastic. That's what Florida is known for. So you could do that too. But oaks, hardwoods, those are a little different.
Yeah, and they'll be there a long time. So
they will win the battle of the house and the tree. Mm-hmm. And the concrete and the tree will win.
There's a reason they make furniture out of them.
I'm not going there, but pine trees, they make farms, and there is a reason that we have 2x4s. God gave us pine trees for 2x4s, and we have more 2x4s. Pine farms in this country, especially in the Panhandle around that area in Georgia, in this country, in Florida. You'll just see rows and rows of them. It is a beautiful crop, and it is why we build homes out of it.
Panhandle. You mean Lower Alabama? That part of Florida?
Yeah. Well, it's the Panhandle. That's what it is.
You got a question? Tom can help you out no matter where you are. Go click on that blue Ask Tom button right there on our homepage at HomeShowRadio.com. Fill out the form, send us your question, and we will answer it just like this. Tom answers a new one every day. We post them every day at HomeShowRadio.com, our Facebook page, and, of course, on our YouTube channel.